Hi, Gina Parent here from my studio in Hodgson, Maine. I'm going to do a little changing on a painting here that I added a little collage to and thought I was going over the edge and it needs to be changed. So I'm going to reposition my camera right here. There we go. So these are actually pieces of collage paper, and I've collaged a lot of paper here in the leaves, but there's something about these lines that I don't like, so I put a few colors on my palette. I'm just gonna see what happens if I do a little bit of changing. I gotta bring my water over here because I know I'll have to rinse my brush off. Okay, let's see what we can do. So I'm just playing it by ear. I'm gonna mix these greens a little, see what I come up with. I don't know, that's kind of nice, yeah. I love gold, so there will still be some gold showing through this, because I'm not going to cover everything up completely, but it just wasn't working for me. So let's see what happens. I really like to I call it swapping my paintings around, revamping them. If something doesn't work, it's really nice to be able to just change them a little bit, change them up a little. It's fun. And it doesn't matter that I'm painting over a lot of things. It doesn't matter at all. I like just painting over things on my palette, on my painting too, as I'm working along. Get all kinds of nice color combinations. I really like collage, and sometimes I just have to do it to get it out of my system. And then after a while, I look at it and I think, well, it's not really working for what I wanted. At the time it was, but things change after I let stuff sit a few weeks. So I'm just jumping around here. I'm going to add some more flowers in there. Looks like I'm covering up most of my collage, but there's still some peeking out in places. I love the fact that this gold is still peeking out here. So that looks pretty good. Looks better anyway. There. Okay. So I am going to give my brush a little rinse. And I'm going to add a few more flowers. So I've got a different I got Naples yellow and light magenta on here, and I'm going to put some other flowers in. Just kind of wherever. So I can already tell I'm going to need to mix up another color to go over some of these. Maybe. So I'll be mixing up more. Put some down here. So I really do like this color pink, but I'm jumping all over the place now. I'm working on my background, but it's kind of fun to work like that. It's like impromptu. Sometimes the best things happen impromptu when you do it impromptu. So I'm just moving around in here. Got a little bit of that green mixed in there, but that's okay. That makes for an interesting color. This is kind of a cool shade of, it's like a turquoisey green. I kind of like it. Yeah, it looks like I'm doing my whole background over here. Well, it looks better already if you ask me, except these flowers need something else. So I've got to mix up probably some white maybe. Have some white on there. So what do you think? Do you like it a little bit better? It's pretty cool looking right now. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe off my brush and let's put some white in there. It's just another layer. Let's put some more in here. So I can already see I'm going to have to add more stems, but that's okay because it makes it more interesting. All right. Yeah, change this one over. Actually, you know what? Oh, this is so funny. I'm changing them all over. hard work. This is how I learn, so it's kind of fun learning this way. And this is what happens when you change things around. It's going to be very interesting because it has so much stuff going on in the bottom layers. That might need a little bit of, let's put a little bit of the Naples yellow in with that one. Yeah, I like these softer colors better. I don't know what's happening to me. I mean, I used to be the big bold color girl, but I like everything. So right now, this is my mood. So if you're an artist, don't put yourself into a box. Don't say, well, I'm well known for my bright colors. I'm just going to use bright colors, or I'm well known for my sepia tone portraits or whatever. Try to go out on a limb a little bit and see what happens. Might be surprised and enjoy yourself. So I'm going to try to keep this color palette as limited as possible because I get all frustrated if I go overboard with colors and things right now. On this one I am going to. I already know I am, so I want to see if I can stick to what I got going on here. And I really like this. I like it. If you look at something standing back too, it looks better. So I'm pretty close. It's pretty up close and personal. I could always switch it up by getting a different brush size, but since I'm filming this, we're just going to keep on using this. This is a size 12 round, which is working pretty well for me. Now, who knows? I'm stepping back a little bit. I might tomorrow morning, I'm not too crazy about this over here, not like it and want to change it again. It's probably what will happen. I'm beginning to think that Naples yellow is kind of a pablum color. Yeah, so these are kind of like bases that I've got going on here. And I'm painting standing at an angle so the camera, I can film this better, and that's kind of interesting to work this way. I quite like it. I'm running out of white. Okay, I'm going to get some more white. Oh, it clogs up so easily. Just a short time ago I used this, it's all clogged up. see if I can get some now. All right, we got some light. Okay, I'm standing back a little bit. So if you like pink, I guess this is a good one. Oh, so this is kind of awkward standing at this angle doing this. But it's kind of fun stretching myself here. Do a little bit extra work on these little buds, these dear little rosebuds. All right, so I'm going to stand back and look at this a little bit, and I like it. I'm going to try to stay within this color palette, so I'm just going to wipe off my brush, and I'm going to add some more stems in here because I added a few flowers. Darken down a few of them. This is a nice low-key piece. So I'm just thinking about what else I should do, or if I should just keep this very, very simple like it is right now. A few marks up here. The illusion of some greenery there. Some more greenery. Looks like I've got some leaves sticking out here. Okay, so I'm going to move over this side so I can paint from this angle. So I'm going to move again. All right. So here we go. This is, it's. I'm actually thinking I need to have a little bit of a darker blue in there. That color is a little too paplamy for me, but I do like the pastelish. I could put some purple in here. Let's add some purple to that. So I will wash off my brush, and I was thinking of doing a darker ultramarine blue, but I'm going to go with some purple just because I kind of like the pastel effect I got going on here. So, and I want to keep using the same brush. I really, really like this brush. So let's just see what happens if I add some purple to this background. I've already went over it once. Remember when we started, I put a little bit of a different shade of blue greenish in here. Now we don't have to do the whole thing purple. We can have it kind of patchy, which I like. That's fun. And who knows, after we do this, we may want to put another color in there. I don't know. So this this green is still wet, but I'm not worried about it. If I get any of my purple in there, it kind of blends it in anyway. So that's okay. I'm quite liking that. Let's just keep going. Now this is a nice size painting. I think it's a 10 by 20, so most people can find room in their houses for a 10 by 20 painting. I like to paint big, so I have a lot of big paintings, and I've heard people say, oh, I just don't have room for it. I understand that. I don't like painting really small though. This is small enough right here. We'll just keep going. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of purple in there because these paintings are like kissing each other, and there's not much of a separation. There's no separation, so put a little bit of separation. Keep going. So I didn't waste my time by having this other color underneath. Every little layer you do makes your painting what it is. It's just the way it is. So the more layers, I think, the better the painting. It just has a lot more substance to it. It's kind of like, you know, people who have a lot of substance. They've got a lot of layers. They've had a lot of things that go on. So this is looking really good. I'm looking at my camera to see how it looks. My word, it's popping right out there. So this was all unplanned. Now there's a little piece of my collage stem I did not go over. I'm going to leave it there because right there, I think it's kind of cool that he managed to survive, so I'm going to let it live. Yeah, I'm going to let that little stem live. Just going to keep going in here. A little bit of collage there showing through. That's great. I like that it shows through. I'm going to probably have to paint over my name, which means I'm going to have to do it again, blah, blah, blah. edge here. So if you noticed anything about this, see there's a little piece of blue green there. It's not connected to anything. I don't care. This is just the way, a different way to paint. If you don't want to stress about, realism, this is a fun way to paint. So there's nothing wrong with realism. I admire people who can paint realism, but that is not my style. So that means, you're going to find little things floating around that don't make any sense. My goal is to just make it semi-representable so you know what it is. So these are flowers. There's a little pink of turquoise. I'm going to leave that there, a little piece of it. I like that. There's another little piece of collage here. Didn't get covered up. Okay, I'm just checking this side out before I switch sides, because I'm going to have to stand over on the other side to be easier for me to do over there, but I'm going to make sure I got all my little pieces covered up that I want covered up over on this side. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to stand back and see what I got so far. I like the purple. I like this. I'm thinking maybe I should have left some of that in, but I didn't. But I can always add more back in later if I want to. So I'm wondering, should I have left more of that there? I don't know. I'm just going to keep up. I'm not going to second guess myself right now. I'm going to keep up with my purple, and then I may take my brush and just add a little bit more of that other color back in. We'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe I'll put a different color in there. This is a real pretty color. I love these Liquitex basics because they're very light. I could add a little bit of this with the purple, and I might do that. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I have all of my purple background done. So I'm gonna stand back and look at it and see what I think. And I like it. I really like it. But you probably don't know me very well, but I like to amp things up. So just for fun, I'm going to put on, this is, light blue permanent. This is a really pretty color. Let's add just a little bit of this in there. So this is very pastel-y. I'm into pastelles lately. Let's put a little bit of this here and there. So some of it's going to blend with the purple because the purple is still wet, and that's fine. I had a lighter purple I could have used too, and I might even bring some of that in. Who knows? Okay, paint it into my flower. I think when I want to do this blendy look, if I make my brush go in downward strokes, this is what I found before, I have better luck. So that's what I'm doing now, making my brush go in downward strokes. I find if I have just one solid color in my background, it looks like a giant sticker. It does to me. It looks like a giant sticker. Like I stuck the flowers onto a background or something, you know what I mean? Okay. So I'm not obsessing over getting complete and full coverage of this blue over the purple. I like having some of the purple show through. So this paint is not a real expensive paint, but I really like it because the consistency, it flows so great. It's a little on the transparent side, so I painted over my little piece of green, but I still see him peeking through there. So that's kind of rough looking right there. But we're not going to worry about anything. I already like it. So this looks a lot better, this background, in my opinion. So there's actually, this is like my third background color. So this baby's got some history, right? It's not what you call a shallow painting. These shallow paintings are great for paint parties and beginners, you know. But the more you keep pushing yourself to move forward, the less shallow of a painting you're going to have. I'm learning that. Try not to overload my brush too much as I put this color on here. Because I want my blue to be fairly translucent so the purple can still peek through. And we're getting there. Pretty soon I'm going to have to stand over on the other side. Soon. My pretty little flowers. Okay, we're going to go through there because those two flowers were kind of button up against each other a little too much. So if some spots are darker than others, it doesn't matter. It just makes it more interesting and it makes it look less like a sticker. We don't want a sticker. I'm moving along. We're almost done. For today anyway. Till tomorrow when I get up and look at this and think, what was I thinking? Sweet little rosebud. I love little rosebuds. I used to get those in corsages when I was a teenage girl going to a prom. I remember my date would bring me a corsage and there'd be little pink rosebuds in it, and I just thought they were so special. And they were. So if I get something on, like I did on that stem, I just rub it off with my fingers. I'm not going to obsess over it. Okay, so there's a little bit of purple showing through here, and I kind of like that, so I'm going to leave it. We are just moving, and then I'm probably going to go over this greenery with a lighter green. Maybe. Okay, I am going to stand back, see what I got so far. Okay, it's looking good in the neighborhood. So I'm going to stand over here and work on this side now. Pretty, pretty. See, if I had really thick paint, like heavy body acrylic, it would not be as translucent as this, and I wouldn't be able to get the same effect. So I really like the liquid, the fluid, they're called fluid acrylics. For something like this anyway, they all have their places. If you're going to do palette knife work, which is fun, the thick acrylics, heavy body are fun. That's what you need. You have to use those. We're getting there. This is quite pretty. I have to look at it. Yeah, that's different. It's a good size, like I said. Could fit it somewhere. We're almost done. This part anyway. I've got to decide if I'm going to use some of my, it's a light phthalo green that I kind of like for these little pastel-y type paintings. I might put some greenery in with that in there. Okay. So, I'm moving and I'm looking at this from this side. So this is what we got so far. These are my sides. I don't know if I'm going to paint my sides over or not, but so this is what it looks like. So I'm thinking before we get done here about adding something else, which is my phthalo green, which is right here. Let's just put a little bit in there. Like hints of greenery. It just goes with the pastel effect. Okay, so that's kind of screwed up there. I'm not too keen on that. It's because of the angle I'm standing, I do believe. So, this is just a wet paper towel. So I need to stand on the other side to do that piece. Yeah, I'll put a little bit of white in there. Yeah, we'll add a little white to these. I'm gonna move over here. So if I just had one color, one solid piece of that phthalo, it's not going to look that great. I need to layer it a little bit. So it looks like I may have to have a few more little stems coming down. I'm not going to worry about them overlapping on my other ones. Because it makes it look a little more realistic. So I don't know what they could be considered. Who knows? I don't want to go overboard with these though. Got a lot going on here. Let's see. Maybe I should put one in here. I hate to cover up part of my precious little rosebud. Put some little vines in here. I don't know what that is. Some kind of a little flower. Maybe a Queen Anne's lace or something like that. Kind of peeking out. Add some of that little light phthalo green in there. Maybe we need a few more of those little things up. Let me move over here on this side. Ooh, it's really getting all dressed up now. It's turning into a fancy pants. All right, I think to balance, let's put some more up here. Put a a little bit of a heavier hand on this. Yeah. All right. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of my Naples yellow over here on this little vine. I should be standing on the other side doing that. So now I kind of like the Naples yellow. It's kind of growing on me. Maybe I guess what I didn't like was it mixed with the pink too well, because it didn't do much for me mixed with the pink. I'm adding a little bit of yellow in there. Okay, I'm going to switch sides. The light is putting a glare on this, but when I'm done filming, I can stand directly in front of it and do a little bit better job. There. That looks a little bit better. A little greenery down here. Yeah, put a little more greenery. It's looking pretty good. It's looking a lot better since I added a lot more to it. It was pretty minimalist. So I did try to keep the colors with the flowers more minimal. Which is a stretch for me. Put a little bit of this other shade of green back in here. It's getting kind of dried up, but there's still some on my palette, so it's fun to do that sort of thing. Keep adding colors back that you had there. I'm going to call these little ghost leaves that I'm doing. Ghost leaves. Okay, so I went over the little pieces of collage. Bye bye birdie. I wasn't going to, but I did. Oh well. That's okay. Now this is This is quite pretty. And I hope I made it look easy for you. I think a lot of it is about confidence, you know? Having some confidence in yourself that you can actually do this. There, I'm going to step back and see what I think. There is a something called overpainting, so we don't want to overpaint this. I think I'm going to call it done. So all I got left to do is put my name on the bottom again, and I actually think I might keep my sides painted these colors just for fun. So here you are. Here it is. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. Let me turn off this light. It's fun. It's fun. You just have to have confidence in yourself. So I'm going to sign off for now, and if you have any questions, shoot me a message. Bye-bye.